blood.
Drink blood.
Breathe life.
Hey, that's cool. Hey, welcome to Unfiltered. Tonight, actually just an hour ago, no, actually right now, at this very minute, 6 o'clock on Friday night, Barack Obama, Harvard Professor Gates, and the Cambridge cop are sitting down at the White House picnic table, which, by the way, is adorned with 42 brass plaques, one for every president. And they're going to have a beer together. Well, they're not going to have a beer together. They're each going to have their own beer. And I'm a little upset because, for one thing, the Cambridge professor and the cop from Boston are not drinking like Sam Adams. And you'd think, nice Sam Adams summertime ale or something, summer, is that what it is, Bruce? Summer ale? Summer ale would be nice. But oh no. Obama will drink a Bud Light. Because I guess that proves what a regular guy he is. Better taste, less filling. More taste, less filling. Or, oh, okay. Well, what's Bud Light then?
Instead of a light, ask for a Bud Light.
Oh, okay, something like that. Anyway, Bud Light. It's not even an American company anymore. American president should drink American beer. On the other hand, if he's acting in an official capacity, the dude's on the clock. And he shouldn't be drinking in the first place. Just saying. The cop from Boston is drinking something called Blue Moon, which I guess is like a beer from overseas. And the Cambridge professor is drinking a Red Stripe, which I think is like a Jamaican beer or something. And it's funny that there's no way to not sound racially biased in this next statement I'm going to make. Because when I was in the military, I dealt with no black people until the time I went in the military. When I was in the military, it was like equal numbers, and that was where, as a country boy, there was no racism because they were just people. And once you get in the military, there's not a minority anymore. Blacks and whites are pretty much equal in the military, in numbers. So there were just as many black guys as white guys in my boot camp class. I did notice one thing, however. White people drank Budweiser. Southern white people were rednecks, drank like Pabst Blue Ribbon. Black guys drank Old English 800. I know it's a generalization, but the way that averages worked out, the majority of the black guys that I knew in the service drank Old English 800. It was typically known as kind of like a black guy's beer, which from what I understand is what this Red Stripe is. It's always been favored, from what I understand, by black people over white people. Is that what it is, Greg? Higher alcohol content? But I mean, this whole thing, they're sitting down to iron out this race stuff. And they're not going to iron it out. You know? Best case scenario is that these guys will walk away going, all right, well, you don't talk to me, I won't talk to you kind of stuff. You know? Last week, I did kind of jump the gun a little bit because I was just following what I knew was that this cop, you know, was arresting somebody in his own home, so that, you know, basically the cops were wrong. Everybody knows I've got, you know, a slight authority problem anyway. But come to find out, it was not entirely the cop's fault. A lot of it was this black professor who immediately broke into a rant because it's because I'm black. And that was it. Where, come to find out, it wasn't so much because he was black as it was because he was an asshole. And I'm pretty sure the cop would have treated a white guy being an asshole the same way. You know? Because, come to find out, this cop spends a lot of his time teaching other cops how to, you know, be racially sensitive and stuff. So it kind of backfired on the black professor and on Obama. So they're all going to have a beer, they're going to swing on the swing set, and, you know, they're going to take some pictures. One of the Fox News guys said that there'll be a kumbaya moment. You know, they should arm wrestle. They should, you know, put them in a steel cage match out there behind the White House. Yeah. Do something, you know, finish this thing once and for all. You know, say who can beat up who. You know, in a fair fight, the cop against the Harvard professor. I don't know, but it's stupid. But they're having the beers, and, you know, keep our fingers crossed that there won't be riots tonight after all this happens.
Well, Rick, we know that you had a birthday this week. Guess what? We're going to come out and celebrate it with you for a moment.
Bruce, you had to do this?
Yes, I had to do this.
What'd she do? She made a damn cake and everything?
Yes. That's what you were smelling last night when you stopped by the house.
Wow.
Happy birthday, Rick.
Where's the damn candles?
We didn't put no damn
I didn't put no damn candles on it.
Oh, good thinking. Yeah, it's just
There's the forks, the plates, we have napkins.
plates enough for everybody. Come on, help yourself.
Yeah.
Come on down.
And I sliced some already.
I'm not going to say how old you turned, but your birthday was on Tuesday for everybody who cares or
You
wants to
realize
know.
we got a show to do. I can't like eat this in the middle of the show. This is way too messy.
Now,
You can-
folks, would you tell me why he can't eat this in the middle of a show? I see no reason why not.
All right, but the crew
We
can't.
can rant.
The crew can't. The crew can't.
You ate a donut the last
The crew will have to
Oh,
eat
my
some after the show. But, so take those off the desk there.
Oh, why, you afraid you want more than one piece?
No, he's afraid he's gonna hit it.
I just don't want it to be in the camera shot.
Oh, okay.
I'll have a bite of the cake and send it back out. Greg, can you grab this? Take that out. You guys can eat afterwards. Otherwise, we got to take a break, and you guys have to go wash your hands and stuff before you touch the cameras.
Okay. All right, I'll put this out on the desk.
All right. Happy birthday to me, everybody.
So happy
Hold on.
birthday, Rick.
We'll be right back to the show in a second.
And open your card.
Well, at least your mom knows you ate something tonight.
That's good. Yes, Mom, I ate.
So you're 29, right?
Yes. 29. See, this is the 19th anniversary of my 29th birthday. All right. Card says, happy birthday to someone who's got it all. Looks, brains, personality. Friends who will say anything to make you feel better. Thank you, guys. Yeah. You know, I was going to mention my birthday, but because a lot of people wished me happy birthday on Facebook, which I thought was really cool. So thank you to all you Facebook stalkers out there that are wishing me happy birthday. But you know, my birthday is not really cool anymore because of the way that timing with different events has worked out. For instance, today, the day that we're filming this show on July 30th, marks the 7th anniversary that my dad passed. And it's always bugged me because the year that he passed, 2 days after my birthday, one of my first thoughts was, geez, Dad, thanks for the great birthday present. And that kind of haunts me every year when my birthday rolls around, because immediately following my birthday, I have to remember Dad's passing. And then come Saturday marks the 4th anniversary of when one of my good friends, Paul Davis, died. So, it's kind of a tough time of year. So I like celebrate my birthday, and then I immediately, visit the cemetery and face the whole mortality thing. And my dad and I were always, up and down. There were a lot of times, I thought he was an asshole. There was a lot of times when he knew I was an asshole. But that's one thing. So the birthday thing is, it's just another day. I don't feel any different. I worked all day yesterday on my birthday, worked all day. So, just another day. Anyway, but thanks. I appreciate the thoughts and the well wishes. And even the people, that made the comment, geez, I never thought you'd make it this far. You ever notice that when you're single, all your friends are married, and when you're married, all your friends are hookers? Just something I thought of today while I was sitting in the whirlpool. Well, it's not really a whirlpool. It's just like I fill up my bathtub with really hot water, and I've got 17 of them little aquarium air pumps that I put the hoses in. Feels good. Can't wait. I'm shooting for like 26. I'll have a 26 jet spa. This story broke on Thursday from Hollywood, Florida, about this lady who got rear-ended in her car by the cops. She was stupid because after the cops had rear-ended her, she admitted to the cops that she'd had a couple of drinks, which is when the cops arrested her and put her in the back of the cruiser, where the dashboard cam caught the audio of 4 cops that were on the scene fabricating their story as to how she was drunk and it was her fault. Yeah, these cops are being brought up on charges. And it's got all the legal people in Florida in a rage because all these 4 cops have pending cases. And because of this little stunt, it jeopardizes every single case they've worked on. Yeah. So a lot of guilty people are going to be going free because 4 cops, or basically the one cop that was driving, couldn't own up to the responsibility and say, I made a mistake, regardless of whether this girl was drunk or not. And at they did drop the charges for the DWI on this girl. But, even if they didn't, at the very least, her lawyer could argue, illegal search and seizure because they really they wouldn't have pulled her over other than the fact that they ran into her. So, you see cops like this, and then the whole thing with the White House, and that cop with the professor. I mean, it's no wonder that everybody jumped first and said, oh, that cop was wrong. Because, yeah, even in this day and age, we do have some pretty scumbag people that are cops. And it's a sad thing to say, and I would hope that we don't have cops like that in Keene. I'm sure maybe we do. But, along with the power that your badge brings, it also brings a very heavy burden of responsibility. And if you're not adult enough or man enough or macho enough or however you want to put it, if you don't have what it takes to stand up and take responsibility for your own actions, how can you be responsible enough to be a cop and worry about other people's actions? That's all I'm saying. Take the badge serious. If you want to be a cop, by all means, be a cop, but be a good cop, be a fair cop. Otherwise, get another job. There are other jobs that can make you feel all pumped up and stuff. You can be like a guidance counselor in a school, or something like that, where you can wield power over little kids. Be a gym teacher. You can make little kids' lives miserable, have all the power you want, and still feel, like you're rough and tough. Speaking of rough and tough, any of you guys see The Deadliest Catch behind the scenes this week?
Why, yes, Rick, we did.
Man, that is rough and tough. And I've decided I'm going to start like a collection of all these behind the scenes videos where they deal with the camera crews and things like that, and keep them on file here at Cheshire TV for people to borrow and watch. Because, nothing more inspirational than seeing these guys out doing their job and, saying, it's, if you could see it on TV, it seems like it's reachable. Of course, it realized that I don't think I would want to be a Deadliest Catch camera operator, because it's just as hard as being a Deadliest Catch fisherman. And there was one new producer that they basically spent the whole show following this guy. Seasick the entire time. Oh, yeah. But still did his job. And there's one scene that I'll never forget. This cat is curled up on the deck of this boat in the fetal position, and his exact words are, "This is still my dream job." Yeah. Yeah, that's like, mental toughness right there, to go out there and capture that story. But, it gives you the idea, that this is how life could be. But it was great, and really shows the courage and what goes into the making of that show. $750,000 worth of cameras. And at the end of the season, they junk them. Yeah, this was my big thing when, back 2 years ago, remember when Cheshire TV was all in its financial straits? We didn't know if we were going to be able to open the next day or not because of financing. And everybody said, well, what the hell did you do with almost $200,000 that we gave you, for equipment and operating funds? Yeah, $200,000. We're still using that equipment. And Deadliest Catch throws $750,000 worth of stuff in the trash every season because it's ruined. Figure they take these cameras out and they get dropped, they get beat up, they get salt water and salt spray and frozen, and yeah. But anyway, it's cool. This story was in the Sentinel on Wednesday. It talks about Boulder, Colorado, and the fact that there's a business out there that collects $10,000 in sales tax per month. That's $120,000 per year from one business in sales tax. They sell pot. They're the Boulder County Caregivers. Yeah, they're a medicinal marijuana supply company. And they sell everything from regular smoking marijuana to marijuana capsules and snacks, such as marijuana-laced Rice Krispie treats. Those are wicked good. I know too, Greg. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to tell me. I was like a chef at one point, you know. Man. Yeah, that would probably make the cake better. How come you didn't do that, Andrea? Man, you're gonna make me.
Nothing in the cake but cake.
Damn. So anyway, in Colorado, medicinal marijuana is legal, and the co-owner of this shop's name is Jill Lay, and she also has a syrupy mixture that you put a drop under the tongue and it gives you less of a high than smoking, but the same pain relief. Just a little drop under your tongue. She calls it the Advil of medicinal marijuana. Nice. More than 9,000 people are registered in Colorado to use medical marijuana. And that's up 2,000 people in the past month. Of course,
Do you have to be a resident?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, the state's health department says that by year's end, the total could rise to 15,000 people. And they have noticed since December, the average patient age in Colorado has dropped from 42 to 24, which raises concerns about abuse. But it's some towns are trying to consider rules to keep dispensaries away from schools and restrict the hours to prevent thefts. Police Chief Rick Hallman said the ideas came from Cannabis Therapeutics, a Colorado Springs dispensary believed to be the state's largest with 1,400 patients. But this store, the Boulder County Caregivers, it says they offer 16 glass jars of marijuana with names like Skinny Pineapple and Early Pearl Maui, priced at $375 to $420 per ounce. So that's top-notch weed right there. But this company, Boulder County Caregivers, employs 7 employees, offers health insurance plan, and plans to add 401k benefits. Yeah. So, I mean, here's a company, albeit, federally illegal company, but they're offering their employees health benefits and everything. So, hey, isn't that what Obama's pushing for? And $10,000 a month in taxes. Yeah. Says the patients are mainly middle-aged women with multiple sclerosis and men coping with hepatitis C. One employee said he takes the tincture drops to help prevent seizures. And a jiu-jitsu coach is a customer, says he uses it to treat pain from forced surgeries and regular fights. So yeah, I could see that too. There's another story I wanted to read, and I bet I didn't bring it in this paper. Nope. Was it in another paper? All right. Yeah, it must be time for that. God, Bruce, why'd you let me ramble on so long?
It's your birthday episode.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll do a crew call now, and to my left is Jim, back with us last week because next week is City Council, so Jim will be over at City Hall. If you want to autograph, you know, go up to Jim, see Jim at City Hall next week, and he'd be glad to sign autographs for a small fee. To my right is Greg. We're going to see his back. And because he's got to get the shots set up for the two in the booth there with the great surprise, Bruce and Andrea.
The two in the booth. Yes, the surprise. I'm naked on my chin. It's a horrible thing. I don't like it.
So you talk, I'll eat more cake.
We're going to talk for a minute. Yeah, I had to go to a dermatologist this week, so I figured I'd show him my whole face and not just the part that wasn't covered up. So I uncovered all my face. So for everybody out there in TV land, this is what Bruce really looks like. It's frightening.
That's damn
so I'm growing
ugly.
the beard back right away. Already started. It's the first time in about 13 years that my chin's been exposed to the breeze and the sun and the elements. So and the air conditioner and.
I walked in the other night and I freaked out, man. I didn't really know
Greg
who you
stopped
were.
by the other day and he'd never said a word. I wasn't sure if he could put his finger on what the hell was different, but you know, is that a new hat? You know, something.
I thought Andrea just got a new boyfriend.
Yeah. Kick the hairy guy out. So. No, she wouldn't do that. She doesn't like it because she can't warm her nose anymore. So I took her nose warmer away. But had a good race this past week, Indianapolis Brickyard. It was a hell of a lot better than last year's race. At least they brought decent tires this year, so it was pretty cool. Even though Jimmy Johnson won, but we'll let Andrea bring everybody up to speed.
Yeah, even though Jimmy Johnson won. But Kyle Busch fell 4 spots. He is not in the chase running anymore. Of course, there's still time to get back in, but he's down in 14th, and it just tickles me pink. That's why I got pink on tonight. Anyways, yeah. Now the thing is, the race was. At some points, it was really exciting. Then it kind of petered off, and it was a little boring. But then it got real exciting at the end. The final few laps with Jimmy Johnson and Mark Martin fighting for the lead, that was probably the most exciting part of it. It was really good. And as it turned out, Jimmy Johnson, Mark Martin, Tony Stewart, and he is having such a good run this year, Greg Biffle and Brian Vickers finished fifth. Now, the sad part, and I say sad because even though I don't root for him, I did feel bad for him. Juan Montoya had really had the car to beat all day long. He was the fastest car in the field. He led the most laps. He got nailed for a speeding violation and ended up finishing 11th, which was kind of a bummer. Junior had a good top 15 run going all day long when his car detonated. So that kind of put him back in, I think it was like 36 spots, something like that. So what a real bummer for that. But anyways, the standings are nothing substantially different except for Kyle Busch, the little skunk, but I was excited. Anyways, Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon third, Kurt Busch is in fourth, Carl Edwards fifth, Denny Hamlin. Denny lost a spot. He fell back to sixth in the standings. Then there's Ryan Newman, Casey Kane, Mark Martin, Juan Montoya. So even though he had 11th place finish, he still kept himself in the running. So he's in 10th, Greg Biffle 11th, Matt Kenseth 12th. But like I said, Kyle Busch, he's all the way down to 14th, and oh my, what a bad thing. But anyways, there's just not a whole lot going on. They're heading to Pocono this week, and so it ought to be a really good race. Pocono is always exciting. But anyways, that's pretty much it, Rick. And happy birthday, and enjoy that cake.
Well, thanks, Andrea. All right. Let me get into some funny stuff. don't know where to start. Let's start with this, because Atlantic, Iowa. Apparently the Midwest is having like this huge heat thing or something, but 2 men are facing theft and public intoxication charges for allegedly stealing water from a fire hydrant for an outdoor water game. Yeah. Apparently Iowa is not like New York. You just don't turn the fire hydrants on and play in the water. Oh man, why'd you give me this one, Andrea? Because Pottawatomie County. Pottawatomie, County Sheriff's Department spokesperson said the men were arrested Saturday after a trailer pulled behind the pickup truck they were driving, blew a tire, sending the pickup and trailer into a ditch. According to the authorities, the trailer was hauling a 1,500-gallon tank filled with water, allegedly stolen from a fire hydrant in Underwood. See, this is even better than what I thought, because I thought maybe they just turned on the fire hydrant and piped it to like a slip and slide or something. That would be a good slip and slide, yeah. But yeah, the cop said a witness saw the men filling the tank from a city hydrant and reported it to the police. And he said the men indicated that they were going to use the water for a water slide. They probably didn't have a real water slide. They probably just had like a backyard slide, and they were going to like put a hose up there and run water down it. You know? Almost as stupid as this story. From South Haven, Mississippi. This weekend, I'd like to apologize because we do not have a Bravo story tonight from Germany. So if you are watching this show waiting for a German Bravo story, you can turn the show off, because no German Bravo story tonight. In South Haven, Mississippi, though, police say a woman was carjacked by a bikini-clad suspect, who they said later tried to rob an RV dealership. But apparently the suspect approached another woman in her driveway and demanded the car. Woman gave up the car without a fight, asking only for time to remove her young children, of which the bikini-clad suspect, I guess, agreed, because she didn't want to be arrested for kidnapping, just car theft. The police said the suspect then drove the car to the business, where she told employees that she had a gun and demanded money. Well, apparently the employees didn't believe her, because she was wearing a bikini, and where are you going to hide a gun? And they called the cops. So, police said she appeared to be under the influence of drugs or alcohol, and she was charged with carjacking and assault without the pepper. All right. Can we do the musical interlude next? Yeah. Because Greg's like on a tear from probably something funny you said, Bruce. But, and then we'll go into these last few stories. Tonight on the Mom's Tattoo musical interlude, another one from 2007 Music Fest. Firelight Revolution. Wow. I'm just reading this story here that about these 3 guys that escaped from jail in Brussels with a hijacked helicopter. And it's, man, I don't know, man. How the hell do you get a freaking helicopter in jail? It's not like you could smuggle one of those in. It might have been. See, it doesn't say whether it was a helicopter that was there or what, but it just says it wasn't the first time that guys would use helicopter to get out, because in October 2007, Nordin Banalal, a self-styled escape king who was in prison for armed robbery and carjacking, broke out of a prison after armed accomplices landed there in a hijacked helicopter. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, but it says these 3 guys, they flew into the town of Alter, then seized a black Mercedes and robbed a service station before heading for the Belgian coast. The jailbreak had not been from the high security wing, which has nets to prevent such escapes. Like a net is any match for a helicopter. Weird. All right. But that one just, I needed something to do while the music played, so I read that one. This one. Ever wonder why people rob banks? Yes, the money, the excitement, the fame. I mean, it's pretty sexy to be a bank robber. 3 square meals a day, exactly. Yeah. In Detroit, apparently, a guy said he started robbing banks to pay for his mother's plumbing. Yeah, he was sentenced on Tuesday to 2 years in prison. 2 years in prison, just 1. Which was a lenient term from a judge who said the defendant had been an outstanding citizen before his crime spree. Well, in my now I have to say in my 48 years of living, I've noticed that a lot of criminals were outstanding citizens before their crime spree started. You know? Oh yeah, he was just a normal kid. And then he started hacking people up, you know? But until he picked up that axe and cut off that guy's arm for the first time, he was a wonderful guy. Anyway, the prosecutors wanted this U.S. district judge to give use federal sentencing guidelines, which would have given this guy 5 years to 6 years for stealing nearly $14,000 from 5 Michigan banks. He's a 29-year-old guy, and he pled guilty in March, with prosecutors agreeing not to charge him with 3 more robberies. But he told investigators he robbed his first bank in April 2008 to fix his mother's plumbing and to get his driver's license reinstated. Needed money to pay for his driver's license, so he robbed the bank. And after that, he just kept going. Apparently, once he found out how easy it was, he just did it 7 or 8 more times. I was so stressed and depressed, he told the judge on Tuesday. I found it difficult to separate life from fiction. Because apparently, his bank robbing life was a life of fiction. He entered banks demanding money and yelling threats, such as large bills or I'll start shooting. Yeah. The judge received 17 letters of support for this guy. And the judge said, every defendant should be treated individually. He was an outstanding citizen before this happened. So apparently, as long as you live a nice, clean life, which that's probably what they're gonna say about me when I start my retirement plan. They're gonna say, he was doing so well. He hadn't killed anybody since he started that TV show. In Illinois, more retarded people thieving stuff. This guy is charged with stealing eyeglasses. Yeah. Actually stealing more than $45,000 worth of eyeglasses. You may wonder, why do you need $45,000 worth of eyeglasses? Apparently this guy just had a thing. The criminal complaint quotes this man as saying he really likes to be around glasses. And he told investigators that he tries them on in front of a mirror and then throws them away because he feels ashamed. And well, he should. Prosecutors said this guy walked into 3 shops between April and July and said he had a gun. They say he took more than 500 pairs of high-end glasses, including Prada and Gucci brands, but he didn't take cash. You think he would have took the eyeglasses and the cash, that way he could have gone to another eyeglass store and bought the glasses instead of stealing them. But like I said, retarded. Like this lady in Lawrenceville, Georgia, who's came up with a fantastic idea for a home business. Unfortunately, that home business was a strip club. Yeah, she's a 28-year-old woman. They said she was operating an illegal strip club in her basement and garage. Yeah. They found a sign when they searched the place reading $1 Jell-O shots. And they discovered minors drinking alcohol when they investigated. She faces a misdemeanor charge of maintaining a disorderly house and remains free on $1,300 bond. So maybe if she had just cleaned up her house a little bit, they wouldn't have said anything about the strippers. Another woman who lives with the suspect said the whole thing was just a misunderstanding. She said friends threw the suspect a party to celebrate her birthday and newly renovated home, and that there were no strippers or underage drinking there. The police also say they arrested a 20-year-old guest who they said lied about his age and was found carrying marijuana in his mouth.
There was no strippers, Rick. It was just people running around in their birthday suit on
Yep.
her birthday.
It might have been that, but this 20-year-old carrying marijuana in his mouth. Yeah. I can't carry marijuana in my mouth because I end up eating it. Yeah. It's hard to keep it in your mouth for a long time. But he's been released on $3,900 bond. That's even more than the lady. So, yeah. Apparently, it couldn't have been that much marijuana if he had it in his mouth. He should have just stuck it in his pocket and said, look, dude, I got some weed. But no, he had to prove what a retard he was by shoving it in his mouth and then just holding it there. Jesus. Unbelievable. Some people. Like these people that missed an entire island because they punched in the wrong damn name on their GPS. The electrical smell from a coffee maker caused a Southwest Airlines flight to make an unexpected landing. A spokesman for the plane said anything that might have touched the burner might have caused the electrical smell because the burner was left on, apparently. He added that the problem was fairly unusual because most people drink alcohol on the plane instead of coffee. It was bound for Orlando, Florida, and departed from Bradley International down in Connecticut. So, this news story, real quick, says Obama is a U.S. citizen, and it also adds that the White House is exasperated. So, no more roaches. Thank God. And I was actually glad you gave me this one, Andrea. The killer of Kelsey Grammer's sister is denied parole. And honestly, I thought Kelsey Grammer was also dead, but he's not. Because he submitted a statement that said that this man is a butcher and this is a monster. I can never accept the notion that he can pay for the nightmare with anything less than his life. Because apparently this 52-year-old man, he beat and raped her, I believe. Is that what it was? Oh, yeah, raped and stabbed her. So, anyway. Another quick one. Oh, this might have been the one I saw the video for today on the TV. This 7-year-old kid led police officers in a car chase in an effort to avoid going to church. Yeah. One witness said the boy drove through a stop sign. The car reached 40 miles an hour before the boy stopped in a driveway and ran inside a home. Boy's father later confronted him. The boy said he didn't want to go to church. The boy's too young to prosecute, and no citations were issued. Although police did urge the father to make his car keys more inaccessible to children. You know. Now, this sounds like a really funny story, but the fact that the boy is too young to prosecute, what would have happened if he had killed somebody? You know? The family of somebody that he killed during this little, I don't want to go to church business. If he doesn't want to go to church, don't steal the damn car. Just grow some balls and tell your folks, look, I don't want to go to church. But apparently in Utah, kids can't say that to their parents or else they'll get beat. New Zealand. A drunk driver said that the reason that they got so drunk was because they're just getting over the swine flu. The judge rejected it. South Carolina, a woman got a ticket for riding a stolen horse down Main Street in a small northwestern South Carolina town. She was given a ticket for disorderly conduct. Because she was about to fall off the horse. It doesn't say where the horse was taken from, but the horse's owner said the animal was taken without consent, and he didn't press charges. She said she was riding the horse to her boyfriend's house. But her speech was slurred and she had an aroma of alcohol. Yep. Not good, not good. Naples, Florida. 25-year-old woman ran over her husband with her truck after an argument on Monday. Yep. Woman's husband eventually disabled her truck and walked to a nearby restaurant. Two people helped her fix the truck, and she drove to the restaurant to meet her husband. The man left the restaurant on foot, and the woman followed him in the truck. Witnesses say they saw the husband rolling from the truck as the vehicle sped away. When they approached him, they reported seeing tracks on him. They arrested the woman and charged her with aggravated battery while using a deadly weapon. Isn't that nuts? I've heard stories like that before about women running over their husbands. And see, these damn stupid criminals keep getting younger and younger. In Cincinnati, an 11-year-old boy has been accused of trying to hijack 2 scooters with a toy gun in an Ohio park. The father of the 2 boys said it was a frightening experience because it wasn't clear that the gun was a toy. And his boys are ages 8 and 10. Cincinnati police say the 11-year-old pointed the toy gun, saying he wanted to take one of the silver push scooters, and then chased the brothers as they raced away. And actually, this kid has been taken to a juvenile center, and he's going to face an August 7th hearing. But a public defender doubts the boy could understand the consequences of his behavior. See? Could. They could do something to the father, you know? But, yeah, kids. Well, yeah, 2 minutes. I won't get through that one. All right. I've only got 2 minutes, so let's, I'll talk about the drag show. Because we did the drag show last Friday night at the Moose Lodge. Fantastic show. I mean, my camera operators had a hard time working because they were laughing so hard. Desmond, I think, almost fell off a chair. What can you do? But it was a good show. All the performers were from Rhode Island except for one, who was one of the regulars, Francesca, that comes. But it was hosted by Miss Kitty Litter, the First Lady of Providence. And she explained how she got that title, how she gave herself that title. And she also, I confirmed, because we were setting up and it dawned on me, hey, this one that is hosting the show is from Rhode Island. So I asked her about the 16-year-old stripper and the indoor prostitution, and she says, yeah, she does it all the time. But it's indoors. And she said, don't get caught in the parking lot because you're going to take it for loitering. Anyway, it was a great show. I've got it in the middle of editing, giving it titles and credits and stuff, and it came out good, and it's going to be a great show. Watch for it within the next couple weeks. We've also got Keen Comic coming up. I believe it's August 12th. I'll check and have an update on the time and info on that for next week. Keen Idol is coming up. And up next on No Spin, Chris and Randy couldn't find anybody to come out and play, so it's just them talking about everything and anything. Who knows? We'll have fun. Till next week. Peace.
Stop. There are kids watching. That's no way to teach kids how to behave.